Satan has a secret weapon, a weapon of mass destruction. It's killed more people than the atom bomb, than the C-19, than any natural disasters caused from, quote, climate change. And that weapon is food. People are digging their graves with their own forks. You will live stronger, longer, healthier lives if you are hyper diligent in what you eat and what you drink. Now you might say, oh great, Lindsay's going to tell me to eat my fruits and vegetables, and I don't like fruits and vegetables. Well, how long did it take Satan to convince you that you don't like the perfect foods that God designed you to eat? The ones that are the easiest to assimilate, that have all the vitamins, nutrients, the amino acids our bodies can use and need. The ones that protect you from and fight every disease we know that affects humans on the planet. How long did it take him to convince you that you hate those foods? And do you really hate the foods, or just haven't really experienced them made correctly maybe? I went to the fair yesterday. We have the county fair in our town, and the smell of the fair food, it's so delicious smelling. But I also saw a lot of the effects that food has on the people. It's deceiving, the smell of that food. Proverbs 23:3 says, "Do not desire your enemy's delicacies. They are deceptive foods." They're not going to help you. They're not going to get you towards your goal. They're not going to make your life fuller and richer and more satisfying, more vibrant. They might just make you fuller and more satisfied in the moment. But that's when we're being led by our appetites. So the food that Satan offers is deceptive, and it can be very dangerous. For example, as an example of this, we breathe in pure oxygen, but when we breathe out, it's carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is toxic. It's a toxic waste product of the metabolism that's going on in our bodies. We exhale toxic air. Now, if we put a bag over our head and sleep that way, we would die. Of course, not of suffocation, but it's asphyxiation. Asphyxiation is being poisoned by the air. So we take that CO2, add it with water, put a bunch of sugar in it, and call it soda, and we drink that by the liter. And then we wonder, why are people having so many health problems? Why do I have diabetes? Why do I have all these health problems and inflammation in my body? And take pork, for example. Pork is not a sin on this side of the cross, thankfully, but it isn't smart. You have to heat pork to basically make it a charcoal in order to kill the parasites in it. And people are having a lot of problems from the parasites in these days. So when you love something that doesn't love you back, that is a dysfunctional relationship. And that is exactly what Satan wants you to do, is to fall in love with things that don't love you back. But 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, whatever you eat or drink, or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. Can we glorify God if we're poisoning our temple with CO2 byproducts and parasite encased meats and all these other toxins that cause cancer and things like that? Our body says that we are God's temple. This temple can't prosper unless I eat more foods that come from the hand of God than the foods that come from the hand of man. Now, you don't have to be 100%, just more foods that come from the hand of God than the foods that come from the hand of man. You know, at the fair, my kids shared a bag of cotton candy. It's not gonna kill them. It's okay, you don't have to be total purists, but you wanna shoot for more food from creation, from the ground, than from a factory. And if you're not quite sure which was which, take your food and look at it and see if you can identify the source, the original source of where this came from. If it is a a rice cake, for example, you can kind of see that there's rice in there, and that's probably where it came from. It's just what comes to my mind. If you take a gummy bear, I could look at that gummy bear all day and not have a clue what the origin was, except for chemicals in some factory somewhere. So you get the point. If you look at our food and you can identify what it's from, then you're in good ground. You are making really good choices for your health. 1 Corinthians 3:18 and 19 says, "For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who set their minds on earthly things." That is what Satan wants you to do. Get your God to be your belly, to your appetites, to your desires, and not on the things of the Lord, not on God, not on his word and his truth and his freedom. So you don't have to miss out on your foods. You don't have to be deprived and restrict your diet. You don't ever have to feel like you're going hungry. What God recommends is that you eat abundantly of all of the foods that he naturally provided for you, and you don't have to restrict that. You will never have weight problems, and it will just do nothing but benefit your body if you eat an abundance of the foods that he provides. So let's decide today to eat more food from the hand of God than the hand of man, more water than other types of drinks, because we are made up with mostly water, and pure water is what all of our metabolic functions need, and our brain. So don't let your God be your belly. Don't be deceived by the delicacies that the enemy dangles in front of you. It's not going to help you. It's going to cause you harm. So if you're not sure, well, what am I supposed to be eating then? I have provided you a free 7-day meal plan, and complete with recipes. Nothing too hard to pronounce or to find in your grocery store. Everything's very simple and delicious. And if you would like to try that out, there will be a link in the description, and I would love to have you just pop over and download that for free. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoy a wonderful day, eating lots of the food that God provided for us, and enjoying all of his good gifts. God bless.